Hello everyone and welcome. Wonderful that you could be here today with me on Storytime 365. My name is Barbara and today I have a story called A Warm Winter. Here's the interesting fact about winter in Canada. Since records began in 1948, the warmest winter ever on record was back in 2009-2010, where the temperatures averaged 4 degrees Celsius above normal. Today's story has been written and illustrated by Feridun Oral. Little Mouse woke up in a shiver one cold winter morning. He sniffed the air with his little nose and stepped out of his nest to find some firewood to warm his family. The forest was very quiet. Piles of snow fell from the trees, making a soft plop, which kept Little Mouse on his toes. Little Mouse scrambled all around the forest, grabbing everything he could find among the dried twigs, pine cones, and shrubs. By the time he tied them up in a big pile, he was exhausted. Little Mouse rested a bit, and then he tried to drag the pile of twigs with all his strength. But the load was too heavy for Little Mouse to pull on his own. He decided to find his friend Rabbit and ask her for help. When Rabbit saw the huge pile, she could not believe her eyes. "I am not strong enough to pull this pile alone," she said. "We can do it if we join forces," replied Little Mouse. Together they tried to push and pull, but the pile would not budge. Rabbit had an idea. "Let's visit the wise Fox and ask to borrow his sled," she said. They hurried to get Fox, and when he looked at the pile, he stared at it for several minutes, wiggled his tail, and said, "I just fixed my sled, so let's give it a try." They loaded the pile onto the sled, and the three of them tried pulling it together. But no matter how hard they tried, the pile simply would not budge. Suddenly, the weather turned bad. The wind shook the trees. The sky became pitch black, and a heavy snow began to cover the forest. Waking up Big Bear was the only thing left for the animals to do. They approached his lair and asked him to help them before everything was completely buried. Big Bear agreed to help. He was quite impressed by the size of the pile, but he was very strong. Together they tugged hard on the sled. It squeaked and creaked a little, but it finally began to slide over the snow. Carefully they pulled the huge pile of twigs back toward Little Mouse's nest. Then something unexpected happened. The sled bumped against a tree root buried under the snow. All at once, the twigs and branches tumbled down to the ground. The blizzard grew stronger and covered everything with a blanket of snow. The four friends took shelter under the pile and cuddled up tight. Eventually, the wind subsided. Everything grew quiet again. The storm was finally over. One by one, the animals emerged from their jumbled shelter. They decided to split up the twigs and cones Little Mouse had gathered, and each of them carried them back to their homes and their families, thankful they had all worked together. This was going to be a warm winter for everyone, after all. Thank you for joining me for today's story. I love how the animals were not only warm, but they were also warm in their hearts because of friendship. Please remember to like and subscribe and hit the bell button so you receive notifications about new stories. If you'd like your own copy of today's book, please see below in the description for the link. I look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow for another story. Bye!